this. Tim Walz pushing back on Minnesota fraud accusations following a viral daycare video. So this is Tim Walz trying desperately to save face. Trying so hard to save face, but it doesn't matter. Everybody knows exactly what happened. So I'm happy about this. Maybe the country itself's not doing well for now. You check the guy that posted on Iran from YouTube? Maybe, I don't know. Massive, over 20 locations, 22 search warrants were indicated. Oh, is this that this is something else too? And yeah, it's
them. Financial disclosures had said the estate of Omar and her husband, Tim Minett, jumped from being in debt to somewhere between $6 million and $30 million in 2020.
Look at all these. How are they all scamming?
They amended their financial disclosure and released it to show the estate is really somewhere between $18,000 and $95,000. They blame the discrepancy as much as $29 million on an accountant who did not subtract the liabilities of Minett's businesses. And
we just send her Somaliland. They want her. They want her. I think, but we don't want her. They do want her. I think I come up with a solution for this, right? Is that like we send her over there, problem solved. That's actually crazy. Well, it's because they're scammers. Like, the thing is that a scammer, like, that people do this, like, they just do it because they can. They do it because they want. And that's it. Can you explain the revisited version being so much lower? Yeah, because they're lying. Like, they made up bullshit. They probably entered in a different type of accounting or something else like that, right? And also, like, if this was their range, then how'd you pay out the taxes? Didn't they have over 800 registered hospices in Minnesota? 22 warrants is nothing. I think you're right. I think that you have to have a like a mass, like a mass event, right? A mass, like a arrest event. You got to go after a lot of them. Somaliland will jail her. It's all good Somalis in the name of the country and say the same thing. I know. Yeah, so basically Somalia is the bad Somalia and Somaliland is the good Somalia. This is what I'm hearing. And so they made a new version of Somalia, which is like I'm serious, it's the way it is. And so, yeah, and like, because apparently, like, her dad was a general in the last, the last reason why Somalia was bad or some other area in Africa was bad. So that's why she has a different last name and everything. And, they said she married a brother, etc. It's because they all changed their names so they could avoid the association with their father that was like a general that had to leave the government, right? This is World War XI. I think that's what she was talking about. And, yeah, W Somaliland patch. I know. And it's really funny. Incest is fucking demonic. Who knows? But, yeah, I'm really happy to see this.
Who we're talking about. Abdimajad Mohammed Nur. He's going to spend the next 10 years, though, in federal lockup after investigators say he took part in a $48 million COVID-19 pandemic scam. So this was part of a meal fraud scam, Trace. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars that were meant to feed hungry American kids on a lot of different things. They took stacks and stacks of cash like you're looking at here.
Big money.
They were blown on luxury cars. Let's buy an Audi. Let's buy a waterfront property out in Minnesota. And if you have time, let's go to a private villa out in the Maldives. That would be nice.
Man.
And that's what they did, according to prosecutors.
They were living like ballers.
Of the fraudsters popping bottles of champagne out on that luxury getaway. Police say the men were happy to be cashing in. They were texting each other, you're going to be the richest 25-year-old, God willing. What is
apparently not. I don't think 10 years is enough.
Being called the largest fraud scam in history.
Look how bald he is.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz watch. Today, the Democrat who ran for vice president launched a fraud prevention program. Critics say that's a little too late. The White House has slammed him for failing not just his state of Minnesota, but the country. He pushed back.
That I know it's not good.
You can't have one without the other. Any amount of fraud is too much. That's why over the last several years, we've made many systematic changes to state government to both detect fraud and hold those accountable after it happened. Year after year, we brought new ideas to the legislature to stay ahead of the evolving tactics, and they are evolving.
Imagine being one of the defenders of the fraud for the last year.
So it doesn't stop there, though. Well, prosecutors...
And that's why I think it's funny is that, like, these are search warrants that were, issued by, like, a judge or something. So, like, do you remember do you remember in like December or whenever the fuck this happened? Apparently people said it was December. Is that everybody was saying like, oh no, you don't understand. Like all Nick Shirley wanted to do is record a bunch of little kids because he's a weirdo. Oh no, it's because it was Christmas, even though these people aren't even fucking, they're not American. They don't celebrate Christmas to begin with. But like, you know, and all those excuses that they had for that, all those excuses. Well, it turns out that it was all bullshit. Turns out it was all bullshit. Can you believe that? Do you think he's going to forget about how he called everyone racist, tried to shut down a conversation? No, and honestly, I think that too many people will forget. You know, as I said, you know, like I've said many, many times, the way that I look at these things. But I'm extremely happy to see this investigation happening. And now we're going to have more of this fraud get investigated. We're going to have more of these people get arrested. And honestly, like, I think not a moment too soon. Really, it should have been happening a lot longer than this. Crazy how they lie in God's name and almost like it means nothing. Yeah, of course, because it's just scammers, bro. Like, what do you expect? Tim Walz called me a delusional far-right conspiracy theorist and said that exposing the fraud in his state was white supremacy. It was the classic false smear tactic that's worked for so long, but it didn't work this time. Tim was exposed and dropped out. Tim lured. He sure did. Oh man. Yeah, guys, the S stands for fraud. That's right. Good video about Assassination Society. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad people liked it. I am. And yeah, they tried to totally reframe this guy in the most disgusting way, didn't they? Oh my god. And yeah, 25% off. It's really, really funny for me to see this. It is officially Luring Day.
It is officially National Leering Day. The Leering Center has officially been raided, and play the clip.
Large-scale raids targeting federal fraud.
Yep.
Currently underway.
I mean, you gotta admit, bro, that's a bit of aura that, like, you go and do this whole investigation, and then, like, you know, a few months later, the actual FBI and the fucking government has a search warrant, and they're like, yeah, actually, you got him.
Federal agents seen leaving the Quality Learning Center.
Take a look at this video here. Sources tell Fox that federal agents are raiding about 22 businesses across.
Imagine being the governor of one of the better states in the country, and you just absolutely get mogged by a 22-year-old Mormon YouTuber. And it gets so bad that you have to drop out of the election.
Minneapolis this morning, and sources say many of them are tied to Somali-owned operations. All of this comes after that viral YouTube video from Nick Shirley. It was back in December. In that video, he visited different child care centers, and you'll remember they were either closed or there were just no children inside, despite receiving state child care funding. Now, the location that you're looking at right now, it's the Quality Learning Center. This is the daycare. It went viral. It blew up on social media because of a sign outside with learning that was literally misspelled. Looks like we got a statement from DHS sharing, quote, Homeland Security investigations in cooperation with our law enforcement partners executed criminal search warrants in Minneapolis relating to the rampant fraud of U.S. taxpayers' dollars.
So there you have it. Over 20 businesses were raided by the FBI and HSI today because of fraud that took place. They had 22 search warrants for primarily Somali-ran businesses because it just so happens to be that a lot of the businesses in Minnesota that were fraudulent were ran by Somalians. Now we're going to talk about these locations that were raided, but I do think it is super important that we talk about somebody who's trying to claim credit for the fraud being exposed, and that is Tim Walz. Tim Walz actually said at the height of this fraud that no evidence of fraud was taking place in Minnesota.
There's no evidence. Well, apparently they found evidence. Man.
However, today Tim Walz is saying something completely different, trying to take credit for the fraud being exposed.
He sure does.
And this is what Tim Walz had to say on X today. He said, if you commit fraud in Minnesota, you are going to get caught. And that's exactly what we saw today. We catch criminals when state and federal agencies share information, joint investigations work, and securing justice depends on it. He then said, today's raids by state and federal law enforcement happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it.
You're actually just making this up. He's just lying.
That is a complete lie.
Yeah, he's just making it up.
Then he says, that's how the system is supposed to work, and our agencies will keep at it as long as there are fraudsters around to put behind bars.
Right.
Well, Tim actually might have to get put behind bars because he enabled all this fraud to take place underneath his leadership in Minnesota. And just to talk about...
I don't see a single reason why we shouldn't try to put him in jail. But I think also, like, here's the thing is that, like, I think we deserve this. I do. I think we deserve it. Because it'll be funny as fuck. We put him in jail, right? I mean, like, can you imagine like the video I get at that? Oh my God.
Some of the stuff that was irregular inside of Minnesota, such as the 1,000% increases for the budget for autism. Meanwhile, there was not 1,000% increase of children with autism, or the increase of money that they're giving to these daycares.
We're never getting that money back,
actually
exactly.
have no kids inside of the daycares. And with all this going on, I do have some good news. Right now, everything on my website is 25% off. All you have to do is go to the link down below and use code LearingDay, and you can go ahead and get yourself a Learing hoodie or anything else we have available. We have t-shirts, hoodies available, and just use code LearingDay for 25% off. And now let's get back into talking about the fraud. And now let's actually talk about who deserves the most credit for exposing this fraud, and that is David. Without David and his years and years of investigating this fraud and seeking to get that public information about the money that was being spent on these daycares,
that guy locked
none of
it
this
in.
would have happened. And me and David proved that teamwork really does make the dream work, as our video
just as an AI photo.
as our video amassed over 4 billion views.
4 billion views? Oh my God. Bro, I didn't know it was... Jesus.
In just 1 week after we exposed the rampant fraud that took place inside of Minnesota. And now let's talk about the raids that took place with locations like the Quality Learning Center and a few of the other locations.
No, I think this is amazing. I'm very happy to see this. We don't need to watch the whole thing. But, like, overall, this is it. Burton mentioned now the fraud being exposed, it would be possible without David. He investigated this on his own for years, and we exposed the fraud together. David is the patriot. David is a patriot in the truest form. He doesn't care about recognition. He just wanted to help his country. A lot can be learned from David's example and hopefully inspire others to make a difference in their own neighborhood. Man. How about that? How about that? David beat Goliath stuff? He sure did. Yep. David and Goliath. The tale as old as time. And it's officially Luring Day in America. I love to see this, man. It is so fucking funny. I'm so happy. These people are actually getting arrested, and it could not be better. Oh my God. And then...
Department, because Tim Waltz, this is like the arsonist trying to claim credit for the work of the fire department, because Tim Waltz let this fraud happen.
The arsonist trying to claim credit for the work of the fire department. Oh boy.
Under his watch, whether he was complicit in it directly himself or just turned a blind eye towards it, we really did not get much help at all from the governor's office. Where we did actually get some help was from some state, local law enforcement officers who we assigned to the federal task force because the state government wasn't doing anything. So all credit goes to people on the ground, the federal officers, the state officers who are working to uncover this fraud.
So you even had the state officers roaching out on their own government because they're like, yeah, bro, we know this is bad. Okay, so what do you need us to do? Okay, yeah, they're over there. Go ahead. Yeah, this is what we've got so far. Yeah, see what you can do. Beautifully said. No, I love to see this. It's great, man. It's amazing. Everyone knew. I know that.